Okay, before the break, we were adding and subtracting fractions, and today what we're going to start doing is multiplying fractions. Now, I know you already know the standard algorithm for multiplying fractions. We've seen multiplying fractions with models, but I told you that we would spend a little bit more time on it because it was just in our bell ringer a few weeks ago. So what we're doing today is we're focusing on a fraction multiplied by another fraction. So no whole numbers, no mixed numbers yet, just fraction by fraction. So today what we're looking at is we're looking at models and also the standard algorithm. So if I'm looking at this part here, I have unit fractions. A unit fraction is whenever you have a 1 involved. So it's just one part of a whole, okay? If I want to model that, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw and shade both models. So I've got two models drawn. They're about the same in size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to represent 1/2 in this one that's split into two parts. So I'm going to shade one. Why is it not going? Try that again. No, it's like freezing. Why is it? There we go. Well, super slow. Okay, so I'm shading one of the two pieces. And then I want to show 1/4. So this is what I'm actually multiplying together. But then I'm going to combine both of those. So I'm going to combine by drawing the first model on top of the second model. So what I've done is I've basically taken this one here and I have moved it to here. But I've overlapped this model also on top. So notice how I've got it split into 4 columns like this one, but I also have it split in half like this one. So I've combined both of my fractions into one model. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the color of this rectangle just so that you can see a little bit better what I'm showing in my model in step 2. So if I were to shade this same one piece, it would be blue. And then if I were to shade the same one piece of the 1/2, it's going to look like this. Now I have one part that is, I've got to change my color. I've got one part that is overlapping with both colors. What does red and blue make together? Purple. So that little purple box, that is where they overlap. So the overlapping shaded area is the answer to this multiplication problem. So 1/2 times 1/4 is equal to one little piece out of how many total? 1/8. So the overlapping shaded area is representing 1/8. Okay, now we've seen this in our bell ringer. I said we're going to practice it more later. Now it's later. So that's what we're doing today. Okay, let's look at these two problems below. I'm going to use the standard algorithm to solve multiplying fractions. So if I were doing 1/4 times 1/2, this is my standard algorithm. I do the numerator times the numerator equals my new numerator. Then I do denominator times denominator equals my new denominator. So what I need to do here is numerator times numerator equals 1. And then I need to do denominator times denominator, which is 8. Easy peasy. Okay, if I have another one, look to the right over here. I have 3/4 times 2/5. My standard algorithm is, again, numerator times numerator, which is 6. And then denominator times denominator is 20. Okay, well, this is not simplified. So what do I need to do to simplify it?
What?
6 and 20. Jade. Find the greatest common factor. Everybody's writing if I'm writing. I want to find the greatest common factor of 6 and 20. So I list all of my factors of both. 1, 6, 2, 3. Over here for 20, I have 1, 20, 2, 10, 4, 5. Okay, which is my greatest common factor of both of these? 2. So the GCF is 2. So what am I going to reduce my fraction by? 2. So 6/20ths, divide each of these by 2, means that my final answer is going to be 3/10. Okay, do y'all remember all of this? Is it all coming back? Okay. All right, now we're going to look at models. Okay, again, here are my steps right here. So my steps are all just here in case you forget, but we're going to practice doing this. So right now you can see that I have 3/4 represented right here, and I have 2/5 represented right here. But I want to combine these two models. So how is that going to look? I need to first, hold on, I'm going to change my color real quick. First thing I need to do is separate this model into the correct number of parts. So I'm going to show 3/4 first. Go ahead and split it up into 4 parts. And I'm going to shade what's already represented for me. I'm going to do 3/4. So here's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now I want to show the 2/5. So now I'm going to split it horizontally as evenly as I can. It's not going to be perfect. Into 5 equal parts. Okay, and I'm going to represent the 2/5 by shading the bottom 2 rows, just like it was in my model here. Now I'm going to look and see where do I have overlapping colors. Okay, here we go again. All right, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 overlapping colors. So that means my numerator is going to be 6 out of how many total pieces? Everybody agree? Yes, there's 20 total pieces. Now, do I still simplify even though I'm using models? Yes, I do. So we just did that up here. I don't need to go through all those steps again. It's the same numbers, but it should be simplified to 3/10. Okay, any questions? All right, you guys are about to do a quizzes practice. The reason you're starting with that first is because it'll give you feedback. It'll tell you if you are right. Don't talk yet, listen. It's going to tell you if you are right or wrong at the end. Then once you reach 80% or higher, I'm letting you redo it if you want to, because it's a grade. So if you don't like 80s, then you want to redo it for a 90 or 100, then you can. But then you have your independent work page up here. So quizzes first for practice, so you have feedback. Then your practice page, which will be homework if you don't finish in class.